the weather forecast with C3 Production.
Good evening and welcome to join me once again on the weather forecast. I hope you had an amazing day. Tonight we expect a moderate to high level of precipitation in parts of the far north, northwest, southwest, west and littoral regions with a cumulative rainfall of up to 50 millimeters. And until tomorrow we expect parts of the far north, northwest, south, west and littoral regions to continue experiencing a moderate to heavy precipitation level with a cumulative rainfall of between 25 to 50 millimeters. And the rest of the nation is expected to remain calm with light isolated showers. And tonight we expect temperatures to get as low as 15 degrees in the northwest, the west as low as 17 degrees and the Adamawa region expecting a minimum of 18 degrees. We may have the center, south and east regions as low as 20 to 21 degrees and the north, far north, southwest and littoral regions expecting to get as low as 22 to 23 degrees. Inhabitants of the northwest and southwest regions are informed to watch out against heavy precipitation that may. Thank you for watching and see you next time.
That was the weather forecast with C3 Production.
September 10, 2019, President Paul Biya announces the holding of the major national dialogue to address burning issues in the crisis-hit northwest and southwest regions. 1 year on, the actions taken for a peaceful resolution of the upheaval are revisited. The town of Yaoundé resolved to move from an eyesore to an eye candy for inhabitants and visitors. Administrative and council authorities act to redress the unsightly picture. The results of the Baccalaureate Technique Industrial are known. Successful candidates caught between pursuing their studies in institutions of higher learning and creating jobs. The 7:30 News tonight presents the options. Good evening and thanks for joining us. Those were our headlines.
Each of us must comply with the measures that have been taken.
It is exactly 1 year since President Paul Biya, in a special address to the nation, announced the holding of the major national dialogue. The main objective was to assemble Cameroonians of all walks of life to unanimously seek solutions for the peaceful resolution of political discord, especially in the northwest and southwest regions. 1 year on, Charles Ibune looks at the ground covered for the return of peace in the troubled parts of the country.
The sunrise and the sunset. Cameroonians await to hear from their president in his fourth special speech to the nation. We are on September 10, 2019.
I therefore strongly believe that the moment has come to rally all well-thinking and constructive forces in our country and in the diaspora to make this desire come true.
The convening of the major national dialogue was a top idea as a request from the people and a quest for the government to peacefully unlock the 4-year deadly deadlock in the northwest and southwest regions particularly.
That is why I have decided to convene from the end of this month a major national dialogue that will, in line with our Constitution, enable us to seek ways and means of meeting the high aspirations of the people of the Northwest and Southwest regions.
The major national dialogue convened. Paul Biya was rightly in the Winston Churchillian philosophy of conflict resolution, which is, it is better to talk than to war.
The dialogue will therefore rally all the sons and daughters of our beloved nation and beautiful country, Cameroon, to reflect on values that are dear to us, namely peace, security, national unity, and progress.
Today, the resolutions of the 8 commissions of the Major National Dialogue are almost completely implemented, left for the full picture of the special status granted to the Northwest and Southwest to be fully known after the programmed regional elections this December.
When President Paul Biya convened the Major National Dialogue, he called for the spirit of patriotism and love for fatherland to reign during the talks. The 5-day historic moment eventually handled issues like peace, national unity and progress. Here is an excerpt of His Excellency Paul Biya on September 10 last year.
The dialogue in question will mainly concern the situation in the Northwest and Southwest regions, since it will focus on issues of national interest such as national unity, national integration, and living together. It is obvious that it will not concern only the population of these 2 regions.
In order to support government's efforts for reconstruction in the crisis-hit regions, a platform for peace and development has been created by CPDM senators, members of the National Assembly, and mayors of the Northwest region. It is the initiative of the Questor of the National Assembly, Honorable Jingo Musa, and it will require politicking for government funds to rebuild the region. Ebenezer Akanga has details on the platform set up in Bamenda.
18 strong resolutions were arrived at during the inaugural enlarged meeting of CPDM mayors and members of parliament of the Northwest region, which held in Bamenda on the initiative of Honorable Njingum Musa. Chief among the resolutions is the creation of a collaborative platform for the CPDM elected representatives of the region.
We are trying to follow up issues of peace, and that's why we want to call upon all the sons and daughters of this region to make sure that peace reigns in the region to allow the children to go back to school.
2 immediate challenges await them. The first one is to be fully involved in the campaign for the 2020-2021 back to school, while the second is to ensure victory for their party in upcoming regional council elections. In yet another key resolution taken at the meeting, the mayors and members of parliament pledged to work in close collaboration with CPDM local party leaders to strengthen the party in Northwest region. Then they addressed a motion of support to the head of state and national president of the CPDM, Paul Biya, in which they endorsed the presidential plan for the reconstruction of the Northwest and Southwest regions and condemned with the utmost energy the killings which constitute the height of horror and cruelty which no circumstance can justify.
Away from peace and development, the housing and hotel sectors in Cameroon will soon be expanded with the assistance of the French enterprise Duval Group. The chief executive officer of the group, Eric Duval, pledged their commitment today during an audience granted him by Prime Minister Joseph John Gute on behalf of the head of state, His Excellency Paul Biya. Christian Chatham reports from the Star Building.
After 30 years of business, mostly in the water engineering domain, the Duval Group has decided to diversify its engagements in Cameroon. The CEO has presented the new interest of his group of firms to Prime Minister Joseph John Gute during this audience accorded him on behalf of the head of state.
We exchanged on the investments of my group in the domains of housing and hotel development. We have planned investments in Yaoundé and Douala. The operations will start in the coming months.
The group is equally making incursions into the microfinance sector and aims to play an important role in the development of the sector in Cameroon.
Our goal is to make inroads in that sector and also in the insurance business.
Prime Minister Joseph John Gute has reassured the French businessman that the government is always open to foreign investments in Cameroon and will work towards creating a conducive atmosphere for them to thrive.
In education, the results of the Baccalaureate Technique Industrial Examinations for the year 2020 have been released, and successful candidates now have a variety of options to choose from institutions of higher learning. Apart from state universities, there is a wide range of specialized schools, such as the National School of Agro-Industrial Sciences in Gaundare. Cynthia Saptalan, the following report looks at the different opportunities on deck.
With one more certificate in hand, it's now the hunt for a higher institution of learning. For successful candidates of the Bac Industriel, the options available when it comes to state institutions include the National Advanced School of Engineering, Polytechnique, now found in all regions, the Higher Technical Teachers Training College, the Institute of Mines and Petroleum Industries, just to name a few.
To enter these schools, you have to enter through a competitive entrance exams. Now, for those who are not going to be able to make those exams, we do have a private institute of higher education which are operating under state universities as mentorship institutions. Now, out of that too, we do have short programs, the HND, we do have the BTS, we do have the HPD, we do have Linafi today in Limbe, which trains in shipping industrial technology.
But before making a decision, officials at the ministry warn against unauthorized institutions.
It's important for the candidates, for the parents to verify with the Ministry of Higher Education if those programs have been duly authorized. Online training programs, until this, very few of them are recognized. If you have to register for any online training with any foreign university in Cameroon, make sure that program is authorized.
For laureates of the Bac Industriel, the website SubStudy has been created by the ministry. The mobile application can also be downloaded on phones to help students on their next journey.
Pursuing studies in the plethora of professional institutions of higher learning and universities in the country is not a given for some of the successful candidates. Due to limited financial means and other family reasons, some seek alternative ways to get busy and to create jobs. Ewane Epole reflects on measures taken by technical institutions to empower their graduates.
An example of institutions orientating youngsters towards self-employment is Government Bilingual Technical High School in Colbison in Yaoundé. Their successful candidates in the 2020 Baccalaureate Technique examination are ready for the job market.
The knowledge that they have acquired from here will permit them, with the help of the teachers, to put up small structures whereby they can begin producing at a very little scale and then with time grow up. We equally have the Ministry of Small and Medium-Sized Enterprise that is there to help us groom our ex-students to be independent and self-employed.
Some of the graduates who lack the means to further their education are also being assisted to create projects.
My project is a fabrication of biomedical liquid.
According to the principal of GBTHS in Colbison, many enterprises are already supporting the institution in its drive of training job creators and not job seekers.
In our Thursday of the Regions, we flash on the state of sanitation in the nation's capital, Yaoundé, and how it can be redressed. The uncontrolled disposal of sewage, the illegal parking of unused vehicles on roadsides, and the illicit occupation of street corners by small business operators are an eyesore for onlookers. Colette Jani presents a vivid picture of what the nation's capital shouldn't be.
As you drive through Yaoundé, you are swayed by the sights of heaps of stinking refuse, irresponsible commercial motorbike riders going recklessly to different directions, waterlogged potholes, and business persons occupying public spaces.
They say the cleanness is not okay, that they should remove the one that all the tables, anything like table on the roadside is not good.
To add to all of these, the nonchalant behavior of Yaoundé city dwellers has turned an already bad situation worse.
The last time there was some guys who was cleaning Carrefour Billy, this Carrefour Billy. They were doing cleanup, but now they are not there.
However, environmental and urbanization experts are optimistic that the situation can still be fixed, especially with the Chan 2021 around the corner.
We can manage to hold child. It is possible, quite possible. It is just a question of management.
Although rapid urbanization poses huge challenges, there is a need for Yaoundé inhabitants to understand that the cleanliness of the city highly depends on their civic behavior.
Administrative and council authorities in Yaoundé are bent on giving the first leave to the town, which will be hosting major events like the African Nations Championship in January 2021. They have set sail on the demolition of unauthorized buildings, created green space for relaxation, and refurbished destroyed lanes. Ebode Kane tells us more on the actions carried out so far.
Ahead of the African Nations Championship, CHAN, administrative and municipal authorities in Yaoundé are leaving no stone unturned to present a good image of the nation's capital to its numerous visitors.
We are satisfied that with the implication of the municipal authorities, and we want the population themselves, especially the traders who are along the roadside, to know that they have to go extra mile to help for this dream to come true.
Green spaces have been created here and there to give the town a facelift.
We are planting flowers, we are renewing the paint on the streets, we are also cleaning our street every day.
The garbage disposal companies also working in close collaboration with the various municipalities in the Mfunde division to get rid of waste and in keeping the streets clean. The population is therefore expected to adopt irresponsible behavior by helping to fight against urban disorder in Yaoundé.
In politics, the December 6 regional elections in the West region will witness a tussle between several opposing political parties. The Cameroon People's Democratic Movement, the Cameroon Union for Democracy, and the Union of the Socialist Movement shall be competing for seats. Hanan Jung now reports on what the contenders have in mind.
In the Noon division of the West region, the Cameroon Democratic Union, CDU, controls 6 of the 9 councils. Meanwhile, in Fumban, the ruling party possesses 41 councillors. Going by a CPDM unconditional pundit, former Minister Janku Lamer Daniel, the choice of candidates for the elections will be crucial. Meanwhile, another member of the elite, Njoya Zakariaou, has posited that the CPDM needs to be given a respectable place during these elections in the division. Over in the Open Camp division, the UMS and MCNC parties shall be having a tussle in Bafang and Bangwa councils against the CPDM, which runs as many as 4 of the 5 councils of the division. These include Baku, Kekem, Bana, and Banja. This constitutes 100 of 191 municipal councillors. From these statistics, one can safely conclude that only a blatant disregard to CPDM party discipline could spring a surprise in the West region.
Landslide and flood victims of the Nkongombo clan in Kupemanengo division of the Southwest region have received beddings, food items and financial assistance from the head of state, Paul Biya. The aid was handed over to the over 160 persons whose houses and farmland were destroyed by the senior divisional officer for Kupemanenguba, Jean-Marie Chakwi. Victor Seeger tells us more on the distribution.
A hand of fellowship from the presidential couple Paul and Chantal Biya to the people of Nkongombo, homeless after last month's landslide and floods ravaged their villages. For families who managed to flee, they are in Ngwata near Sanchu to receive assistance to alleviate their plight and to remind them that they are not forgotten by the state.
To come and comfort the population and to hand them the basic items sent by the head of state.
With the support of the elected representatives like Honorable Julius Fonge, heading the disaster committee, the victims nurse hope of surviving as lasting solutions are sought to their ordeal.
The High Council of Cameroonians in the diaspora have contributed to the National Special Solidarity Fund to check the spread of the coronavirus in Cameroon. The funds raised were handed over to Cameroon's High Commissioner to the United Kingdom, His Excellency Albert Fotabong. Here's an excerpt of his declaration after receiving the donation.
We are representatives of the High Council of Cameroonians in the diaspora, and this is just one of the gestures that the diaspora has done since the COVID-19 started. Different groups have contributed, but we at HCCA, as we call ourselves, we have brought a check to the High Commission to hand over as part of our contribution to the call of the head of state to the fundraising to relieve the hardship brought by COVID-19 to our home country, Cameroon.
The wearing of face masks in public places will be mandatory until further notice.
As you must have corrected in that interview, it was Julius Nkafu, one of the members of the United Kingdom diaspora. 85 master's students in public management from the Advanced Institute of Public Management have graduated today. The ceremony, presided over by the Minister of Public Service and Administrative Reform, Joseph Lay, coincided with the matriculation of a new batch baptized Unity in Diversity, as Emmanuel Avemi reports.
Here is the Unity batch of graduates from the Advanced Institute of Public Management ready to redress managerial lapses in public administrations in Cameroon.
All what we have learned is going to help me in my administration improve on the performance of my duty.
I have been equipped with the tool of strategic management to be able to contribute to my administration.
There's a lot of challenges when it comes to managing money, managing finances. So I work an aspect of that. It's going to have an impact.
The 85 laureates formed the second batch of master's students in public management and here received their certificates before the third batch currently undergoing training and the freshmen whose matriculation ritual has been said.
AIPM is a very, very important institution. I would like to call on all the administrations and even the private sector to send their collaborators for training.
The director of the institute, Edward Mokwe, has told the graduates to be true ambassadors of an institution that trained them in solving managerial problems.
And slightly above 7:50, the decentralization of the toll-free number 1510 to get information and help on the coronavirus is being appreciated by many Cameroonians. The decision has enabled the population to receive answers from their regions and get clarifications that apply to their reality. Baldwin Sama is at the Public Health Emergency Operations Center with his guest, Dr. Modest Ngachu. Hi, Baldwin. How is this policy paying off?
Good evening, Esther. Information just reaching us at this point in time from Dr. Etun Zimbala, who is the incident manager of COVID-19 here at the Public Health Emergency Operations Center. He just gave us the figures of today. So far in Cameroon, we have 20,009 Cameroonians who have been tested positive for COVID-19. 18,837 Cameroonians have recovered from COVID-19, taking the recovery rate to 94.12%. 415 Cameroonians have so far died of COVID-19, and we have 757 active cases of COVID-19 in the 10 different regions of the country. And back to your question, Esther, the decentralization of the 1510 toll-free number for Cameroonians has made it quite easy for Cameroonians in the 10 different regions of the country to have access to reliable information concerning the spread of COVID-19 in the country. And that's what we're discussing tonight with Dr. Modest Ngachu, who is a public health expert. Good evening, Doctor.
Good evening.
When we talk about the decentralization of 1510, what actually does it mean?
As you know, let me remind you that when we dial the number 1510, it is in order to have information about the coronavirus disease. And previously, all the person who dialed the number 1510, the calls are received here at the call center of the Public Health Emergency Operations Center here in Yaoundé. With the decentralization of the 1510, when you dial the 1510, your call is received at the regional public health of the place that you call. That's the meaning of decentralization of 1510.
And very briefly, what's the main aim decentralizing this call center to the different regions?
For example, when you want to know a place to be tested, you are going to dial the number, and previously it was here that we give you the information. For example, you are in the Northwest region and you dial the number. Previously, we receive here in Yaoundé your call, and we give you the information about the place you have to be tested. Now, with the decentralization, it will be to the regional delegate public health of Northwest to answer the question about the place to be tested. It means that with the decentralization of 1510, the services offered by 1510 is closer to the users.
Thank you so much, Dr. Modest Ngachu, for being our guest this evening. Just to remind our viewers, information just reaching us inform us that 20,009 persons have been tested positive for COVID-19 in the country. 18,837 Cameroonians have recovered from COVID-19. 415 Cameroonians have died of COVID-19, and we have 757 active cases, confirming that the coronavirus is still very much present among us. Back to you, Esther.
Thanks very much, Borden Samuel, for updating us on the recent figures on COVID-19 in the country and also on the effectiveness of decentralizing the toll-free number 1510. The 2020 edition of the Crown Noir Film Festival will take place from October 31 to November 1. For optimum media coverage, the Delegate General of the festival, Basek Bakobio, today exchanged with CRTV's Director General, Shandongo. Gilbert Ongene reports that the 3-year-long partnership between both entities was also reviewed.
Conviviality and camaraderie characterized this 30-minute audience. The Delegate General of the Crown Noir Film Festival was granted by the Director General of CRTV, Charles Ndongo. Top among the issues discussed is how CRTV can assist the organizers of the film festival by giving it the best exposure necessary, especially during this period of the coronavirus. In the days ahead, the two parties will meet to strategize on the various aspects of the task ahead.
We need this great technical support of the CRTV. And also, we will take all the opportunities to help CRTV to buy rights of film, Cameroonian films, so that can broadcast in CRTV.
The Écran Noir 2020 promises to be the best ever, given the caliber and stature of Cameroonian and foreign films in competition. CRTV, the strategic media partner of the event, is set to give it all the attention a film festival of this magnitude deserves.
In sports, the Confederation of African Football has announced that the African Nations Championship Tournament will take place from the 16th of January to the 7th of February 2021. The tournament will be hosted by Cameroon and will involve 16 nations expected to resume preparations immediately. Meantime, CRTV Sports and Entertainment, our specialized channel, will from this Saturday, September 12, begin the broadcast of matches of the English Premier League every weekend. All 36 exciting fixtures of the 2020-2021 English Premier League will be aired to satisfy football fans. Baldwin Summer has details on these and more.
In her incessant quest to satisfy her different viewers, especially football lovers, CRTV makes available different sports competitions, among which is the English Premier League, to be aired live on CRTV Sports and Entertainment beginning this weekend.
We contacted many federations, and English Premier League is the first to us given a positive answer. That's why, of course, we are proposing, as from this Saturday, the best matches of the English Premier League.
The English Premier League simply announces upcoming key football championships CRTV will make available for her viewers.
The first move would be towards our own federation, the National Federation FECAFOOT. We are negotiating with them to know how to share, the different advantages. So if you are a little bit patient, We are going to see many good things on CRTV Sports and Entertainment.
With CRTV Sports as broadcaster, it confirms its position vis-a-vis the main channel.
We are trying, to enrich our schedule with as many sports as possible, and of course some entertainment, being it theater, being it music and so on and so forth. And we are improving our offer.
Come Saturday, September 12th, the appointment is taken for 34 exciting encounters in the English Premier League on CRTV Sports and Entertainment.
And that sports report brings us to the end of the 7:30 news, in which you heard that it was on September 10, 2019, that President Paul Biya announced the holding of the major national dialogue to address issues in the Northwest and Southwest regions. 1 year on, the actions taken for a peaceful resolution of the upheaval has been revisited. More news comes up at 8:30 p.m. with Romeo Chwise. Tomorrow, you'll be in the company of Ben and Bumagana. I'll be back next Monday, God willing. Good night and thanks for watching. Stay tuned to our programs.
In this connection, we should avoid stigmatizing